The galaxy was quiet, but beneath that calm, a storm was growing. Far from Earth, in the vast reaches of space, the alien Empress sat on her throne. Her eyes burned with anger as she listened to troubling news from her spies. They had found signs of a secret fleet, human warships hidden but growing. This was no ordinary fleet. It was said to have 3,000 ships, deadly and powerful, ready to change the balance of power in the galaxy. The Empress could not believe humans had come this far. She thought they were weak, simple beings. But now, she saw the truth. Humanity was stronger than she ever expected. Across the stars, humans worked quietly in hidden shipyards. No one knew exactly where these shipyards were. Some said they were deep underground on Earth. Others believed they floated in asteroid belts far from known space. What mattered was the fleet was real and ready. The ships were built to fight, to defend humanity from any threat. For years, humans had listened to stories of alien empires and feared attacks. Now, they were preparing to fight back. The leader of humanity's fleet was Commander James Holden. He was calm, smart, and brave. Holden often walked among the ships, watching the crews work hard. Everyone knew the stakes. This fleet was humanity's shield and sword. No one wanted war, but if it came, they had to be ready. One night, as Holden stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Horizon, an urgent message arrived from Earth Space Command. It was a warning. The alien Empress had sent a message across the galaxy. She demanded humanity to reveal their fleet or face destruction. The message was clear: surrender or die. Holden read the message twice. He could feel the tension rise in the room. No one spoke. Everyone waited for his answer. He looked at the stars ahead and then spoke in a steady voice. "We will not surrender. This fleet is our future. We fight to protect our world and our people." The crew nodded. Their eyes were full of courage, but inside, some felt fear. They knew the Empress was powerful. Her empire controlled many worlds and her warships were feared across space. If she attacked, humanity could lose everything. Meanwhile, on the Empress's planet, the halls of her palace were filled with noise and anger. The Empress stood tall, her face red with rage. "How dare these humans hide such a fleet from me?" she shouted. Her generals bowed, but none had an answer. The humans were clever and dangerous. The Empress gave orders. She would send spies and scouts to find the fleet. She would destroy it before it could grow stronger. She would show humanity the price of defiance. Back on Earth, scientists and engineers worked day and night. They fixed ships, made new weapons, and trained crews. The secret fleet was growing, but the humans kept it hidden from the galaxy. They knew the Empress's spies were watching. Every move was careful and quiet. Among the fleet's crews was Lieutenant Sarah Kim. She was young but skilled. She dreamed of peace but prepared for war. Sarah often thought about her family on Earth. She hoped this fight would end soon, but deep down, she knew it might not. One day, a scout ship returned with important news. The Empress's spies had found one of the hidden shipyards. An alien fleet was moving closer to attack. The humans had little time. Commander Holden called all leaders to the Horizon's bridge. He explained the danger. "The Empress is coming. We must be ready. Our fleet must move from hiding and face her head-on." The room was silent. The leaders understood. The secret was out. War was coming. As the fleet prepared to leave its hidden bases, tension filled the air. Every ship checked weapons. Every crew practiced drills. The humans were ready to fight for their survival. Suddenly, alarms rang across the horizon. Sensors showed the alien fleet approaching fast. The Empress was sending a warning attack. It was a test to see how strong humanity really was. Holden gave the order. "All ships, prepare for battle formation. We will defend our homes." The secret fleet moved out into the open for the first time. The stars lit up with thousands of glowing ships, a powerful force shining through the darkness. Humanity was no longer hiding. It was ready to fight. The first clash was near a small human colony on the edge of known space. Alien warships fired their weapons, trying to destroy the human fleet. But the humans fought back fiercely. Their ships were fast, their weapons powerful, and their crews brave. Lieutenant Sarah Kim led a squadron of fighters. She dodged enemy fire, protecting bigger ships from damage. The battle was fierce and loud, but the humans held their ground. The alien Empress watched from her throne, her fury growing. The humans had surprised her. Their secret fleet was real and dangerous. Her empire had never faced such strength before. Back on Earth, people watched the battle reports on screens. They felt hope and fear. This was their future. They prayed for victory but prepared for sacrifice. After hours of fighting, the alien fleet retreated. The humans had won this battle, but they knew it was just the beginning. The alien Empress would come back stronger. Commander Holden looked at his crew and said, "We showed them who we are, but we must keep fighting. Our survival depends on it." The secret fleet was no longer a secret. Humanity had stepped into the light, ready to defend itself with 3,000 deadly warships. The galaxy would never forget this day. The war had begun, and no one could say how it would end. The stars were calm, but the tension was thick. The secret human fleet had revealed itself, and the alien Empress was not pleased. Far away from the battlefield, on the bridge of the horizon, Commander James Holden stared at the endless black space ahead. His heart beat faster with each signal, arriving on the screen. The alien ships were moving closer and faster than anyone expected. "Captain, we have movement," said Lieutenant Sarah Kim, her voice steady but serious. She pointed at the radar. A large group of alien ships was closing, in their shapes unfamiliar and strange. Holden took a deep breath. "This is the moment we have trained for. All hands, prepare for encounter." The crew moved quickly. The hum of the machines filled the room as the massive fleet shifted into position. The human ships were ready, but no one knew how the aliens would act. Would they attack directly, or try to trick them? From the other side, the alien Empress watched her commanders carefully. Her face was still hard with anger, but a flicker of doubt crossed her mind. The humans were not as weak as she thought. They had skill, courage, and something more, a will to survive. Her commanders reported, "The humans are holding their position. They expect us." The Empress nodded slowly. "Good. Then they will learn. Show them the price of rebellion, but spare no unnecessary loss." Back with the humans, the first signs of the encounter began. Small scout ships from both sides moved closer, trying to learn more about each other. The silence was tense, as if the universe itself was waiting. Suddenly, a sharp beep broke the calm. "Alien scouts detected at close range," Sarah said. The scouts moved fast, but human ships were ready. Using swift maneuvers, they blocked the scouts' path. Neither side wanted to start a full fight, but both were testing strength. Holden spoke calmly. "Keep your eyes open. They are watching for weakness." Time passed slowly as the two fleets stayed close. Then, a new message arrived from the alien Empress. It was a warning. A clear signal sent across all channels. "Withdraw your fleet, surrender your weapons, do not force us to act." Holden looked at the message and then at his crew. The room was silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The Empress did not want to negotiate. She wanted control. "Tell her we will not give up," Holden said. "We fight for our future." The crew nodded, ready for whatever came next. The humans had something the aliens did not expect: hope. Hope to survive, to protect their home, and to prove that they were not weak. As the message was sent, the alien ships moved again. This time it was clear. They were testing, not with weapons but with force. Their ships surrounded some human vessels, trying to push them out of position. Holden ordered, "Hold steady, do not panic." The crews worked as one. Fighters flew. In protective circles, larger ships formed walls of defense. The human fleet showed strength and the aliens saw it. Sarah flew her fighter near the edge of the battle. Her heart was pounding. She remembered her family back on Earth and the promise she made to protect them. She carefully dodged the alien ships, using every skill she had learned. The humans were small in number compared to the alien empire, but their ships were fast and clever. They used surprise moves, making it hard for the aliens to predict their next step. Hours passed and the test continued. Neither side wanted to lose ships, but both wanted to show power. The humans felt the pressure but held their ground. Suddenly, the radar picked up a new signal. A group of alien ships was trying to flank the human fleet from behind. "Alert! Flanking maneuver!" Sarah shouted. Holden acted quickly. "All ships, prepare to defend rear lines. Fighters, intercept the flanking group." The human fighters rushed to meet the new threat. The sky filled with bright lights as ships moved in fast, careful dances of battle. The alien ships were surprised by the humans' quick reaction. They expected fear, but they saw courage instead. Back on the Empress's throne world, the Empress's anger grew. The humans were not crumbling, they were standing tall. "Increase pressure," she ordered. "Show them we do not fear." The humans kept fighting with skill and determination. Each pilot, each crew member knew what was at stake. They were the shield for humanity, the hope for peace. As the day ended, the battle slowed. Neither side had lost many ships, but the message was clear. Humanity was ready. The secret fleet was no longer hidden, and it was a force to be respected. Holden gathered his commanders. "This is only the HFY beginning," he said. "The Empress will not stop, but neither will we." Sarah looked at the stars, feeling tired but proud. She whispered, "We will protect our home, no matter what." The stars above were silent witnesses to a new chapter. A chapter where humans stood against an empire, ready to defend their place in the galaxy. The vast darkness of space stretched endlessly before the fleet, but inside the flagship, the tension was almost unbearable. Commander Holden stood silently watching the stars through the thick glass of the bridge. His mind raced with thoughts. The Empress was angry and powerful, but the humans had surprised her. Yet the true test was still to come. The crew moved quietly, each knowing that the calm before the storm was the hardest moment. Lieutenant Sarah Kim checked her instruments again, her fingers steady, but her heart pounding. "Captain," she said softly, "we've received unusual readings from the outer sectors. Something is moving fast, but it's not from the Empress's fleet." Holden turned sharply. "What is it? Could it be a trap?" Sarah shook her head. "I don't think so. It feels different, almost like a warning." The commander frowned. For weeks they had faced threats from the Empress and her warships, but this was something new, something unknown. Suddenly, the communications officer called out, "Incoming message encrypted and untraceable." Holden ordered the message to be decrypted. As the words appeared on the screen, a quiet murmur passed through the room. It was a message from a group humans had never met, an ancient race that had watched humanity quietly for centuries. They warned that the Empress's anger would not be easily calmed and that her forces were preparing something terrible. The message ended with a simple but powerful sentence: "Trust no one in the enemy's ranks." Holden felt a chill. The war was growing more complicated than anyone imagined. Not only did the humans have to face the Empress, but now secrets and betrayals lurked in the shadows. While the fleet moved cautiously toward a new base, Sarah thought about what this meant. The ancient race had never revealed themselves before. Why now? And what did they hope to gain? In the dark corridors of the alien palace, the Empress paced with frustration. Her generals brought reports of strange disturbances within her empire. Some of her own commanders were acting strangely, questioning orders and delaying attacks. Rumors of betrayal spread like wildfire. The Empress's eyes narrowed. "If anyone dares betray me, they will face my justice," she said coldly. "No weaknesses allowed." But inside her heart, a flicker of doubt grew. The humans were stronger, yes, but something deeper was happening. The Empress felt her empire beginning to crack from within. Meanwhile, back on the human fleet, training and preparations continued with urgency. New ships arrived, and crews practiced drills late into the artificial night. Everyone understood that the war would not be won with strength alone, but with cleverness and unity. One day Sarah was called to the bridge. Commander Holden wanted to speak privately. "Sarah," he began, "we must be ready for what comes next. The Empress will not attack openly again. She will try to divide us, to break our spirit." Sarah nodded. "We must stay united, but how do we know who to trust?" Holden sighed. "We don't. That's why we must watch each other and be careful. But we also have something the Empress fears: hope, and the courage to protect each other." That night, Sarah stood on the observation deck, looking out into the stars. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries. She wondered how many more secrets awaited humanity. The warning from the ancient race echoed in her mind. Suddenly a flash appeared on the horizon, a signal, faint but clear. It was not from the Empress's fleet. It was a distress call. Holden ordered the fleet to change course. "We can't ignore this. It might be a trap, but it might also be someone who needs help." As the fleet moved toward the signal, tensions rose. Some officers feared it was a trick to divide them. Others hoped it was an ally. The closer they came, the more strange the readings became. The signal was coming from an unknown ship, old, damaged, but still functioning. When they boarded the ship, the humans found a lone alien captain. He was weak, but alive. He told a story of rebellion inside the Empress's empire, of commanders who wanted peace, tired of endless war. His words stirred something inside the human leaders. Could this be the chance to end the conflict? Or was it another trap? Holden looked at Sarah. "We must decide carefully. This might be the turning point." The ancient warning echoed again. Trust no one. But could they afford not to trust? As the humans made their plans, the Empress's fury grew. Her empire was losing control, and the secret fleet was no longer just a threat. It was a symbol of hope. The stars watched silently as two great powers moved closer to a decision that could change the fate of the galaxy forever. The distant hum of the fleet filled the bridge as the human ships moved steadily through space toward the new Alliance's location. Commander Holden's eyes never left the view screen where the damaged alien ship hovered quietly. The mysterious captain's words echoed in his mind. A rebellion was stirring within the Empress's empire, a chance for peace, but also a risk. The crew worked in silence, their minds heavy with questions. Could they trust this alien? Could the Empress's grip on her empire truly be weakening? Sarah Kim stood beside Holden, her fingers tapping nervously on the console. "Captain," she said, "the rest of the fleet is anxious. They want answers." Holden nodded slowly. "So do I. But we must move carefully. One wrong step could end everything." As the damaged ship was repaired and integrated into the fleet, strange signals began to appear. Coded messages, hidden within routine transmissions, suggested that not all the alien commanders were loyal to the Empress. Some were quietly supporting the rebellion, waiting for the right moment. The humans listened closely, learning from these whispers in the void. The rebellion was growing, but it was fragile. The Empress's power was still strong, and her wrath was feared by many. Meanwhile, far from the human fleet, the Empress convened a secret council. Her voice was calm but full of steel. "The humans have found our weakness," she said. "But we will not fail. We must root out the traitors and crush the rebellion before it spreads." Her generals nodded, but behind their eyes, fear lingered. The Empress's anger was a force no one could ignore, but doubt had taken root. Back aboard the Horizon, Holden held a meeting with his top officers. The alien captain, whose name was Kale, joined them. He spoke softly, carefully choosing his words. "Our people suffer," Kale said. "The Empress's rule is harsh and unyielding. Many long for peace, but fear the price of defiance." Sarah leaned forward. "How can we help? What must we do?" Kyle looked around. "We must be patient. The rebellion needs time to grow stronger. You must protect it, but not expose it." The humans understood the risk. Any mistake could bring the full force of the Empress down upon them. As days passed, strange new ships appeared at the edges of human sensor range. They were different, sleek, fast, and silent. The Empress's loyal commanders had begun sending spies and scouts to gather information. One evening, as Sarah was monitoring the sensors, a sudden alert flashed. A group of these ships moved quickly toward the fleet. "Captain, we have company," she called out. Holden's jaw tightened. "Prepare to communicate. Let's see what they want." The approaching ships did not attack. Instead, a single message came through, a warning from the Empress herself. "Cease your alliances and return your fleets or face consequences worse than defeat." The fleet fell silent. No one moved. The message was clear. The Empress wanted submission, not negotiation. Holden responded firmly. "We seek peace, but we will not bow to threats. The future belongs to those who dare to protect it." The alien Captain Kale sighed. She grows desperate. The Empress fears what she cannot control. The fleet prepared for whatever would come next. The humans worked side by side with the alien rebels, training, sharing knowledge, and strengthening their bonds. Sarah found herself thinking about the cost of this struggle. She remembered her family, her home planet, and the promise to protect them. The weight of that promise pushed her forward. One night as she stood watching the stars, an idea came to her. What if the key to ending the war was not strength alone, but understanding? If they could show the Empress that peace was possible, maybe the cycle of fear and anger could end. Holden listened as Sarah shared her thoughts. "We will try to reach out," he said, "but we must be ready for anything." The fleet sent out a peaceful message, a call to open dialogue, not demands. It was a bold move, one that could either bring hope or disaster. Days passed with no reply. The tension grew heavier. Then, a sudden signal arrived, not from the Empress but from a high-ranking commander in her empire. The message was simple but surprising. "Meet us. We wish to talk." Hope and uncertainty filled the fleet. This could be the moment that changed everything, or the beginning of a new challenge. Holden gathered his team. "Prepare for the meeting, stay alert. This is our chance to shape the future." As the fleet moved toward the meeting point, Sarah felt the weight of history on her shoulders. The fate of two worlds hung in the balance, and every decision mattered. The stars shimmered cold and distant, but for the first time in a long while they seemed to hold a promise that peace might be possible, even in the darkest reaches of space. The human fleet moved cautiously toward the agreed meeting point. The silence on the bridge thick with anticipation. Commander Holden stood at the center, his gaze fixed on the glowing dots that represented ships from both sides. The signal from the high-ranking alien commander was unexpected, a rare chance for dialogue in a long war filled with threats and fear. Lieutenant Sarah Kim watched the incoming ships with sharp eyes. "Captain, this could be a trap," she said, quietly, tension in her voice. Holden nodded. "We'll be ready for anything. But if there's a chance for peace, we must take it." The meeting began in a neutral space station far from either fleet's stronghold. The station was small but well-equipped, designed for diplomacy and cautious talks. As the human delegation entered the chamber, they found themselves face to face with the alien commander, a figure clad in sleek armor, but with eyes that showed weariness rather than anger. "I am Commander Rylus," the alien said with a slight bow. "I speak for those who seek change within the Empress's empire." Holden responded, "We appreciate your courage in reaching out. Humanity has suffered from endless conflict. We want to find a way forward." Rylus nodded slowly. "The Empress's rule is strong, but it is not unbreakable. There are many within her ranks who desire peace, but they fear the cost." Sarah stepped forward. "What can we do to help? How do we build trust when fear has ruled for so long?" Rylus sighed. "Trust is earned through actions, not words. We need proof that your intentions are true. There are secret bases hidden within the Empire. If you can help secure them without destruction, It will show our people that peace is possible. Holden looked at his team, then back at Rylus. We accept the challenge. Over the next weeks, the human fleet worked carefully to locate and reach these secret bases. The missions were tense but without open conflict, using precise maneuvers and technology designed to disable systems without damage. They helped the alien rebels secure their strongholds. Each success sent ripples of hope through both sides. News spread that peace was not just a dream but a possible reality. Yet the Empress's shadow loomed large, and not all her commanders were willing to accept change. One night, Sarah received a coded message from an unknown source. It warned of a plot to disrupt the fragile peace by staging a false attack, blaming the humans and forcing the Empress's hand. She brought the message to Holden. If this happens, it could destroy everything we've built. Holden's expression hardened. We must act before they do. Find the source and stop it quietly. The human and rebel teams worked together in secret, tracing the plot through hidden channels and encrypted communications. It led them to a small group of fanatics loyal only to the Empress, willing to risk all to keep the war alive. As the day of the planned false attack approached, Holden and Sarah prepared their teams to intervene. The operation required stealth and precision with no room for mistakes. When the moment came, they moved swiftly. Human pilots blocked the fanatics' ships, preventing them from launching their deceptive strike. Rebel forces secured the area and arrested the conspirators without harm. The peace talks resumed, stronger now with the threat exposed. Rylus met Holden again, gratitude clear in his eyes. You saved the future of many, he said. The Empress's power will weaken as more see the truth. Holden smiled. This is only the beginning. We must keep working together. Meanwhile, the Empress received news of the failed plot. Her anger was deep, but so was a rare seed of doubt. She began to wonder if her empire's future might lie not in endless conflict, but in change. As the human fleet sailed among the stars, hope grew brighter. The alliance between humans and alien rebels was fragile but alive. They had faced fear, secrets, and challenges, yet their courage held firm. Sarah looked up at the stars one last time before rest. Maybe, just maybe, peace is possible. The universe watched, waiting for the next chapter in this story of struggle, trust, and hope. The stars beyond the observation window seemed colder than ever, but aboard the horizon, a sense of cautious hope filled the air. Commander Holden stood quietly, his thoughts heavy yet determined. After weeks of secret meetings, fragile alliances, and close calls, the time had come to face the Empress directly, not with weapons, but with a message that could change everything. Lieutenant, Sarah Kim joined him on the bridge, her expression steady but anxious. The peace talks have reached a turning point, she said softly. But the Empress hasn't responded yet. Holden nodded. She's watching, waiting. We must show her that our strength lies not in war but in unity. Across the galaxy in the heart of the alien empire, the Empress sat on her throne, surrounded by advisors and generals. Her eyes were sharp, reflecting both fury and weariness. Reports came in. Her empire was shifting. Some of her commanders questioning orders, others secretly aiding the rebels. But the Empress had always been a ruler of great pride. To admit weakness was difficult, yet the endless cycle of conflict had drained her people. A message arrived from Holden's fleet, an invitation to meet face to face, to discuss a future where both species could live in peace. The Empress hesitated. Could she trust the humans? Could she risk everything for a chance that seemed almost impossible? Meanwhile, aboard the horizon, the fleet prepared for the meeting. Every crew member knew this could be the most important moment of their lives. The galaxy had watched wars before, but none like this, where hope and fear fought side by side. As the meeting began on neutral ground, the Empress appeared, regal, powerful, but with a new softness in her gaze. She spoke slowly, carefully. "Have watched your actions," she said. "You have shown courage and wisdom. Your alliance with the rebels weakens my empire, but it also reveals truths I could no longer ignore. Holden stepped forward. We seek not to destroy your empire, but to build a future where all can thrive. The Empress considered this. I have ruled with strength because fear was necessary. But now, I see that hope must lead. Together, they discussed ways to rebuild trust and create a new order. The human fleet would help rebuild war-torn worlds, share technology, and protect those who chose peace. Sarah watched as the Empress spoke with her commanders, some nodding, others still unsure. The road ahead would be long and difficult, but in that moment, the first real step toward peace had been taken. Later, as the fleets prepared to leave the meeting, the Empress turned to Holden. May our worlds remember this day, the day we chose unity over division. Holden smiled. May it be the beginning of a new chapter for all. Back aboard the Horizon, Sarah felt a lightness she hadn't known in months. The war was not over, but the future was no longer a battlefield. As the stars shimmered around them, the crew looked forward to new challenges, new friendships, and a galaxy where hope could shine even in the darkest places. The story of the alien Empress and humanity had reached a turning point, one written not with conflict but with courage and trust. And that story was only just beginning.